motion quilting and stuff and quilt them myself.
Yeah.
And of course, because they're gift quilts, so they were king size.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, this is going to take the rest of my life to finish. So I was desperately doing,
that's really heroic.
a minimum of 4 hours a day. And then I would
craziness.
just get too
That's
tired
work.
to do anything else.
Yeah. Now, when you do free motion quilting, how are you quilting those? Do you have, in what way are you quilting those big ones?
Where am I?
Yeah. What kind of machine are you using to quilt?
I have a FAF, Creative 3.0.
Is that
and it has embroidery capability.
Mm-hmm.
So I have used sometimes an embroidery hoop to do some quilting,
mm-hmm.
and I've done a couple of quilts where I just used embroidery motifs to quilt.
Interesting.
These particular ones, I did a little bit of the embroidery. I used a fleur-de-lis on one, but I've recently been using a lot of rulers to do
How do
the
you
quilting.
like that? Now, this is a domestic machine, right? What you're talking about?
Right. It's a domestic machine.
Yeah. So how do you like ruler work? Because I have some that I've started to try it, but I'm beginning the ruler work.
Yeah.
And wait, and for those that don't understand, explain what ruler work is in case there's someone listening that doesn't understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, you change your presser foot, on the machine to a particular sort of a round, they call it a ruler foot.
Yeah, it's like thicker, right?
It's thicker, yes. And you set you drop your feeder dogs and you set it on free motion, and the rulers are clear plastic. They're usually maybe 1/8 of an inch thick.
Right.
I mean, they're fairly stiff. They're not like the template plastic you use to make quilts with.
No,
cut out quilt.
Yeah,
they're thick. They're thick and stiff.
Yeah, and
they're bigger than just the rulers that you use when you're cutting or something.
Yeah, they're made. So if you're looking, where did you get your foot? Was it from your company, from the company that made your?
From the company, yeah. I think I got the original batch. I got through Nancy's Notions,
mm-hmm.
but they're Westerly rulers.
Westerly.
And
okay, so
Westerly. They're out of Australia.
Yeah, they're amazing. We interviewed them, so I haven't aired.
Oh, you
that.
did?
I did.
How good? How
cool is that? Right? They're
That's
amazing.
Perfect.
Right. So so we interviewed them, and she's remarkable. He's the marketing person, and so she figured out how to make the feet and the rulers, and it's like they're incredible. So they were the first ones to do the ruler feet, and now the other companies like Juki and other companies have their own ruler foot, but they're the real deal. So they're the ones like if you want again, I don't get any money for talking about anybody, so nobody pays me anything, but the school does. My school pays my feeds my family, but they're really interesting, and they are from Australia, and they're hoot, and they're at I met them at Quilt Market, and they were also at Quilt Festival selling their rulers. And what they'll say is, the one thing is, if anyone's listening, the key component is to know there are different types of rulers depending on whether you're doing it on a long arm or domestic, and also the foot. So they know which foot goes with which. Yeah,
because when I placed the order, it was a 2-part order. You said, I want this set of rulers and a foot, and then they come up and they ask you what kind of machine do you have.
Right.
And so based on what you fill in for that, they know what size ruler to send you.
And they're so funny because he even said like he said he's up all night because he's answering questions and helping people when they. So it's very sweet. I was like, okay.
Well, because they're in Australia and everybody in the U.S. is asking
questions. They're so fabulous. They're such a great couple.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know what I do without YouTube for these kinds of things, because I can play it over and over and over again and freeze it and see exactly how they're doing it and that kind of thing.
It really is important.
That's been invaluable for me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how people's skills have improved with.
Yes,
like
and
that,
I can see the difference. I mean, the kinds of things that. Because they always tell you that finished is better than perfect, but it's still when I look at some of the early ruler work, it's like, oh, I probably should have picked all of that out and redone that line and some of those kind of things. And it's like, get over it, child. It is what it is.
It's practice.
And, but one that I did, they have a whole set of those that make circles. So you can make these concentric circles.
Right.
And one of the quilts that I made was Drunkard's Path.
Oh, cool.
Blocks. And so as they come together, in the way the quilt was, the Drunkard's Path blocks were put together, it kind of made circular shapes, right? And so I went ahead and used these templates or these rulers to quilt these circles.
That's so cool.
And it was kind of interesting because one of the things that they do is they send you this thumbtack.
Yeah, there's a thumbtack.
That you put this thumbtack up from the bottom of the quilt.
Right.
Well, I don't know whether my quilts are too thick or I'm too dumb or whatever, but that pin is never quite long enough.
Interesting. So what'd you do?
So I end up using other kinds of pins, that stick me and scratch me and everything, but that are a little longer and will hold the template in place because
That's
I find that the template moves around or whatever.
Well, we'll have to spend some time because I have them and I haven't started to use them. So I need to get going because I've had them since November.
Yeah, well, I would definitely say, start with the YouTube videos because I mean I'm happy to sit with you on this stuff, but I would hardly call myself an expert.
Got it. And have you enjoyed it? Do you like doing the ruler work?
Actually, it is kind of enjoyable because I'm not sure where I got these other rulers from, but it was a different company, not Westerly, but there were templates that they could do, just for a meander, or I think one was a cloud, but they had one piece that made these little leaves, these sort of wandering leaves. And I had a quilt that had a lattice design on it, and I thought, well, if I have the leaves kind of going up the lattice, that would work. And that actually worked out pretty well. It was much easier than the circular thing. The circular thing took a long time and had a few hiccups and that kind of thing. But because it was a lot of quilting, it was a lot of stitching.
Now, have you ever sorry, go ahead.
No, but the one with the vines, went a little faster.
Interesting. Now, have you ever used, we just finished our Stencil Company giveaway, which was a lot of hoopla, but we got it done. We got a winner and all that, so that was good. But have you ever used stencils?
I haven't, although I have to say I went on the Stencil website once, and looked through the stuff. And it was fascinating because there were things on there. I mean, I knew sort of about stencils.
Yeah.
The traditional, I guess, and these were the clear plastic. You see them at Joann's kinds of stencils.
Yeah.
But I never knew about the whole cloth things. That was totally new to me.
I love
and I thought it was very interesting that they had the stencils for grids.
Yeah.
And I thought, now, that would be a great thing to use for free motion quilting if you've got a lot of open space.
Yeah.
So I did order a couple of things from them.
Oh, how cool. That's great.
And I particularly, awesome. I ordered their marking pencil because they were talking about how the marking pencil is like wax and graphite or whatever it was. And I thought, ooh, that's good.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me how it is. I haven't tried that. You'll have to come back and let us know how it is. So
okay. Yeah, it should arrive like tomorrow or something.
Very cool.
I got the email saying your stuff is on the way.
That's cool.
So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Look at that. Well, I'll have to check in with them and see if we up their sales. I really like them. They're a nice family. I'm kind of like, I love their family, and I love the whole cloth. Like, it was such a, because I'm not a beginning quilter. I'm just an okay quilter. I've been quilting all my life, and I'm still just okay quilter. But I loved being able to just do that and then wash it out and have the beautiful pattern. It was just
the patterns really cool. that I saw, they look so complicated. But they were intimidating to me.
But they're not.
It's just how in the world am I ever?
You just follow your lines. That's the part that was so amazing.
But there's like there was so many lines.
I know,
I don't know. Maybe I need to look for something that's simpler to start with.
Yeah, I did a simple one. I think I'm gonna go purchase the big one. I think that's gonna be I have a birthday coming up, and I think. Yeah.
That's your present to yourself.
Right. Huh? My summer present. That's right. Last year for Mother's Day, I bought myself. So I have a love-hate relationship with Mother's Day. But last year, I bought myself for my family for a present for me a huge, like those long arms where they have the batting that they put on the long arm machines. That's a big roll. I bought one of those because it was on sale at Joann's for a ridiculous amount.
Oh, the roll of batting, is that what you mean?
I still have it. I still have some, but I thought I'm gonna buy. It was like, I don't know. It was really it was really on sale, and I thought, you know what?
Yeah, I've done that.
It's
where
awesome,
where
right?
you
feel like
it's great. Just haven't been able to roll that sucker out and make anything you want. It's terrific.
I feel like I can make anything. It's like I feel like I'm an industrial quilter. And I'm amazing.
Yeah, well, I really have got that. One of my goals this year is to finish things and to reduce the number of ongoing projects and that kind of thing, and not to start anything, not to start anything new until I finished a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. So, when I first got into this, it's like I went on this insane buying spree. Yeah. It's like stash. Ooh, what's a stash? Right. I got to have one of those, And so it was a good excuse. I mean, the shop pop was wonderful. I mean, I spent $1 bazillion on that thing. Yeah. And started, and from that you have to buy the bin so you can store the fabric in it, and that kind of thing. So I've taken over my poor husband had a workshop. Well, it's not his anymore. I've taken it over. He goes in every once in a while and going, well, if I ever start to paint again, I don't know where I'll do it.
That's right. That's okay.
We'll have to compromise.
Exactly. I have a philosophy. So I don't know if you know, because there's a book, Virginia Woolf wrote a book about a room of one's own, that women need, right? Women's one's own. And I feel like quilters, we are like embracing that Virginia Woolf thing. We're like, that room's mine, and that room's mine. Like, it is. I think it's a feminist thing. So I think
maybe so. I'll take it from that standpoint. It doesn't sound quite so selfish that way.
I think it is. I mean, I think that because of what we do as quilters, we need space. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was a grad student. We didn't have any. Like, we had a little corner. Like, you don't have to have a lot of space, but if you can, I say embrace it. And be like a room of one's own, We need a quilting room of one's own. So, it's. I put my.
I agree.
My pink hat on for that. But okay, cool. So you we're doing good. We're at 30 minutes. Like, look at us. We're being reasonable. But this is where the moment happens, because I think we're wrapping up, and then like an hour, 40 minutes later, we're still chatting. So what advice do you have to someone who is, like you were, newly retired or semi-retired? I always pretend like I'm retired right now, but I'm not at all. But I'm like, in my mind, I go to that, I'm retired space. So if you're really retired or fake retired like me, what do you do? What do you suggest to them to do if they're thinking about quilting or they are just starting to get into it? What would you say to them?
I would say look for some classes. The craftsy thing is good. If now that I know about local classes and things like that, if you know someone who quilts, the quilt shops are a very good source for classes, for finding out about what's going on in the quilting world in your area. Yeah. And so being able to meet other people who do what you do and learn a little bit more about it that way, I think is very good. If you're kind of shy, go to the online thing and try it out And some people have different learning methods. You know, if you're one of those folks that you feel fairly comfortable and you can do things, you know, visually, if you're pretty good at sewing. So, you know, if you're one of these folks who's like, what's a sewing machine? You really need to, you know, have some classes and a little hands-on from folks. But what I found, one of the